Good morning and good Chodesh. Welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Thursday. It is the Rosh Chodesh Shvat, the first day of the month of Shvat. A very special month. Shvat, this is, makes the words Sheyeh Besurot Tavot. We should have good news. Amen, God willing. Shvat, of course, is also the month. We have Yud Shvat, the day, the yortzeit of the previous Rebbe, and the day that our Rebbe became Rebbe. Tu B'Shvat, a lot of good things in this month. So let's begin with tzedakah. Gedele tzedakah, shemekareves es hageula. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. And we continue today in chapter 15. You know, there's the saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Today, in today's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe talks about what happens when the going gets easy. When it's too easy, when the going gets easy, you got to take it up a notch. So what are we talking about? So yesterday, the Alter Rebbe began explaining the verse that says, "Ushaftem v'reisem ben tzadik larosha ben oived alekim lashalei avoda." You will come and you will see the difference between a tzaddik, a righteous person, and a rosha, a wicked person. Ben oved alekim, between one who serves God and between one who does not serve God. And we explained yesterday that this is not a repetition. It is actually talking about four different types of people. You have a tzaddik, and you have a person who serves God. And you have a rasha, and you have a person who does not serve God. And we explained yesterday the difference between the first two. That the one who serves God and the tzaddik are two different people. The tzaddik is a person who is not called Oved Elokim, one who serves Hashem. He's called a servant. He already became a servant. His entire being is changed. A Beinani is a Oved, one who is actively working on himself to change and to face his challenges to serve Hashem. So his evil is not completely transformed. So he constantly works on it. Today, the Alter Rebbe is going to explain the difference between the other two, saying that in the Beinani itself, there are two types of a Beinani. There is a Beinani, an intermediate person, and as we said in the previous lessons, what is a Beinani? An intermediate person who is a person who does everything what he needs to do, always conquering his evil inclination, and always praying and studying Torah, doing mitzvahs, being kind to people, everything is doing everything at the right thought, speech, and action is doing the right thing. However, the Rebbe says now that in the Beinani itself, there could be a person who is doing the right thing. You know why? Because he doesn't really have such a passionate inclination. It's not like the tzaddik. A tzaddik doesn't have at all a passion on desire. On the contrary, the tzaddik despises something which is not godly. But in the Beinani itself, it could be he has a Yetzer Hara, but his Yetzer Hara is not so passionate. So for him, it could be some people in the nature. In the nature, they have a very frigid nature. Some people are like bookworms. They like to study all day long. It doesn't bother them. It's not a challenge for them to sit and study. And if they have to study, they'll study Torah. Why? Because after all, they're Jewish. A Jew has deep inside a neshama that wants to do the right thing. So the thing is that this person is not fighting so much. And here the Alter Rebbe says that is why a person like this, even though he does everything right, he's called lo avoda. He's not serving God. Because serving God means that when it gets easy, you have to work. You have to find a way to work against your nature. Just like a person who is exercising and he achieved a level, he's running 3 miles. But then after a while, 3 miles becomes like nothing for him. It's nothing. So it's not a problem for him. You gotta push, you gotta take it up a notch. You gotta move forward. So this is what the Alter Rebbe is talking about in today's share. Let's see it inside. Says the Alter Rebbe, "Ubebeineni yesh gam ken shtei madregos, oived Elokim v'asher lo yavodeh." In the category of a Beineni, there are also 2 levels. He who serves God and he who serves him not. So the person who does not serve God doesn't mean that he's a rasha. He's not wicked. A wicked person, he's one who fails in certain areas. He doesn't do the right thing. But a Beinoni does everything, but he's still considered not serving Hashem. Says the Alter Rebbe, "V'af al pikein einay rasha," yet he who serves him not, he's not wicked. Although he doesn't wage war with his evil nature. He's not considered wicked. Why? Because he never sinned. For never in his life has he committed even a minor transgression in the realm of negative commandments. And also, he always fulfilled all the positive commandments. He also fulfilled all positive commandments which he was able to fulfill, including the precept of Torah study, which is equal to all the other commandments combined. To the extent that his mouth never ceased from study, despite the difficulty involved in this. He always studies, always does the right thing. And again, just to mention, what does it mean that his entire life you've never sinned? What happened if somebody sinned? Can he not reach the level of becoming a Beinoni, an intermediate person? And with this, we explained in the previous lessons that what that means, that right now he's in a state of mind that is never will entertain to do a sin. So even if a person did commit a sin and he did teshuvah, you can reach to the level of Beinoni as well. But however, going back to this case of this Beinoni, as a person who does everything right, he doesn't commit a sin, and he constantly does the right thing. However, yet he's still described as one who does not serve God. Why? Because he does not wage any battle against his evil inclination. So whatever he does, it comes easy to him. He doesn't wage a battle to win the Yetzer Hara, the Natzchoi, al yedei oir Hashem ameir al nefesh elikis shebamoyach hashalit al alev kaniskelehel, to vanquish it through the aid of the divine light that illuminates the godly soul abiding in his brain, which rules over the heart, as explained above. That the godly soul and the divine light illuminating it are the Beinoni's answer to his evil inclination. So he who serves him not does not struggle with it. So he doesn't use God's light to help him to overcome this battle. Why not? Because to begin with, his Yetzer Hara is not so strong. Because his evil inclination does not oppose him at all in an attempt to deter him from his Torah study and divine service. He needs not wage any war against it. So the Alter Rebbe brings examples of different people who may be in this category. So he says, number one, could be a person who by nature, he has a very melancholy nature, a very, like a bookworm. It's not, his life is not an exciting life. He just likes to sit and study. So it is, for example, with one who is by nature an assiduous student due to his stolid temperament. And the same thing, that it could be a person in other areas also doesn't have to fight. When it comes to sexual desires, not everybody is so enticed with sexual desires. Some people are more frigid nature. It doesn't excite them that much. And also he's also free of conflict with sexual desire due to his frigid nature. And the same thing could be in other areas. Like he's not going to be so much in lust after they're looking for the food, the best delicious food, all kinds of worldly pleasures. Some people are saying, I'm just give me whatever I need to eat. I'm going to eat whatever I see. It doesn't excite me, all these things. Some people are like that. And similarly with other mundane pleasures, he needs not exert himself to master a desire for them, for he naturally lacks any feelings for enjoyment. So a person like this, for him to be doing the right thing, studying Torah, praying, it's not such a big deal. He's just doing it. He doesn't have any excitement to do anything else. And he has a natural love to Hashem, so he's going to do it. ולכן אין צריך לסבוינן כל כך בגדולת השם, להוליד מבינוסי רוח דעת ויראת השם במיכה. For this reason, he does not need to contemplate so much on the greatness of God, to consciously create a spirit of knowledge and fear of God in his mind, which was learned earlier in the Tanya, that fear of God is the origin, is the thing that what keeps you away from doing violating the prohibitions. In order to guard himself from transgressing any prohibitive commandments. And the love of God causes a person to fulfill the positive commandments. But this person doesn't need to work hard to generate this love and fear to lead him to do these things. He also needs not create a love of God in his heart, which would motivate him to bind himself to him through fulfilling the positive commandments and through Torah study, which equals all the other commandments together. So that person doesn't need to generate that type of love. All he has his hidden natural love that everyone has by nature. And therefore he sits and studies Torah and does the right thing. The hidden love of God found in the heart of all Jews, who are called the lovers of his name, that's a quote from the Tehillim, that is sufficient for him to motivate his fulfilling the commandments, since he is naturally so inclined. Velochein, therefore, says the Alter Rebbe, Eino nikro oived klal. For this reason, he is not considered one he's serving God at all. He's doing everything right, but he's not working, he's not serving, he has no challenger so much that he has to work and do the right thing. Because this latent love is not of his making or achievement by any means. That love, it is our inheritance bequeathed by our patriarchs to the entire Jewish nation, as will be explained further. So that later on, chapter 18, 19, the Alter Rebbe will explain about this hidden love that there is in every Jew. So this is one type of a Beinani that is not serving Hashem. Furthermore, the Alter Rebbe goes now to say that it could be a Beinani, a person who's born with challenges. He overcame his challenges, and indeed he was a Oived, he was serving Hashem properly for many years. But you know what? He already trained himself, became second nature. So when you train and it becomes second nature, and now you wake up in the morning and you're doing things automatically by routine, and it's not a challenge anymore for you, then again, you reach that point that you no longer are serving God. You're doing the right thing, but you're not serving God. So that is also, even if a person who is not born with that nature, but he became that way, once he reached that level, when the going gets easy, you got to take it up a notch. Says the Alter Rebbe, so too, he who is not inherently studious, but has accustomed himself to study diligently, he accustomed to do it so that this habit has become his second nature. Thus, diligence is now natural for him. So here again, so for him too, the hidden love of God is now sufficient. Unless he wishes to study more than he usually does, when he wants to take it up a notch. So to do so, in order to take it up a notch, he must arouse a conscious love of God in his heart. Only such a love can supply the strength necessary to free himself from the restraints of his acquired nature. So this is the end of today's share. And the takeaway, of course, is sometimes we do mitzvahs and it's hard, but then after a while it gets easy. Some people, to give tzedakah, it's easy, okay. I like to give tzedakah, I like to help people. Other people have to think twice before they take out the money and give. And the same thing with every mitzvah. Every mitzvah, when it gets easy, you can have a person who looks religious, everything is fine, he's studying Torah day and night, but he's doing whatever he's used to do. So it could be a person who is far in a lower level when it comes to observance, but he's working on himself or on herself. And we're working on ourselves, then we are considered Oived Hashem, serving Hashem. So that's the end of today's shir. We'll see you tomorrow. Be'ezrat Hashem. Have a good Chodesh. All the best.